And we're live. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
It's very happy. I'm
is
eating my
happy.
lunch finally.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why that's the beauty of happy hour.
Yeah, but by the way, this is not tea. Just to let you know, this is not tea.
It's something super, huh?
This is also not tea. So there you go.
This is high test.
High test.
And since we're speaking of a lot of knots,
yes,
this is not Coke.
Oh, it is not Coke.
What is it?
In the Coke bottle today.
Actually, yeah. Well, it's better than me sitting here with this. I don't know, than like a big old glass and just.
Yeah.
But so it's actually, you know how I say I don't drink the high fructose corn syrup ones, but this is an orange soda that's actually Mexican, and it's made with real sugar.
Is it
it's not low fructose corn syrup.
It's not low fructose corn
syrup. It's no fructose corn syrup.
No.
And it's not made by Coke.
Yes, not made by Coke.
Not made by Coke.
Made by Troy in its own container, kind of thing is what I did.
Nice.
Wait, just like so you made this soda? You made this soda from a recipe in Mexico?
No.
No. I was gonna say that would be something.
It's just transferred. It just makes it easier for me to drink.
Because that would have been something from Mama Maggie's kitchen. She'd make her own soda. Make Mexican soda.
Yeah, we used to do that.
Hey, if she's got a recipe or does some recipes on it, let me know.
She has a lot of the greatest recipes. Some of the ones and the easiest are the agua frescas, like a cucumber water, a pineapple, and all these others. You have to check it out sometimes. Just look for agua fresca, Fresca.
Oh yeah, I totally know what it is. Yeah,
there's tons of them.
And
they're really good.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to step on you.
Ouch.
No.
If I turn off my video for a moment, it's only because I'm going to be. Oh, now it says it's live.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yes.
You know, my delay. I just received the message that we're live right now. So apparently StreamYard doesn't like me.
Apparently, big delay today, huh?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is, you know, I've talked about Facebook being delayed on their messaging.
Yeah.
I think they've, as of this morning, cranked it either back on or provided more servers to it or whatever, because I've been getting like normal messaging.
Yeah, it's definitely better today. Definitely better today.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
which is cool.
They brought out that new, the new like button there with the I care, you know, with the
it's I care, yeah.
Yeah. I care about this.
Speaking of caring, I think I probably should share this broadcast.
So part of me wonder like whether that was wrapped into a bunch of things that now all of a sudden got untwisted.
Well, because when you start seeing things getting really screwed up, there's usually another update coming. We saw the same thing with Google Hangouts and other things back in the day. But in fact, one of my friends worked for G+, and one of the things that he told me was that they don't do anything after December 15th, between December 15th and January 10th, because they don't want to have to call people back in to fix something new that's gone bad. So they just sit around, drink a little wine, and plan the next year.
Well, I'm going to post our link too if anybody wants to join us.
Yeah, I'm going to share around. And we're sharing and caring. It's a Friday potpourri for you and me.
It is. I figured we could talk about a bunch of different stuff from this week.
You want to talk about bananas? The whole bunch?
Well, really quick on the on this care that they've added to the emoticons you can select. I find it interesting that they have like, love, care, laugh, wow, and then they have like sad and angry. There's never like, dislike or I don't care for that much. Nothing
terribly
like
bored.
Right. There's nothing kind of like that's they have more things that are positive and not enough to give you that, because there's either like sad or angry. There's nothing
maybe we need more positivity in the world and less anger and hatred.
Maybe.
Kumbaya.
True, but what if you feel like, like you're not angry, you're not sad, but you're like,
how about
I really don't think that was the great. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Meh.
Yeah, or different.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, you can put that request into the Zook.
I think that. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's waiting around for an email from me.
There is kind of a fairly limited amount of space there, though, for them to do that. So,
well, hey, they all of a sudden needed to add a care.
yeah. So,
You know, I mean,
That's actually pretty good.
yeah.
I'm trying to describe this thing as I share it, that we are live with our Friday happy hour potpourri of all things marketing.
Exactly. So, anybody got an exciting marketing thing to share for this week?
Marketing thing. Well, I've seen a couple of people play around with the new Facebook Live Studio something, whatever it is. Because apparently Facebook's making a move to try and not necessarily derail StreamYard and Be Live and Restream, but apparently they're kind of going after it.
That's good.
Well, it is, because I think it'll improve things, but at the same time, I think that apparently the interface is not all it's cracked up to be. Like if you think StreamYard and Be Live are pretty straightforward and everything, apparently there are a lot of bugs that have to be taken care of before this ship sails full speed ahead.
We saw a little bit of that too, where they said that they were releasing Google Meet.
Yeah,
it is Google Meet, right?
I don't know. Maybe it's Google Chicken or Fish. I'm not sure.
Yeah, possibly. To a limited audience, which is usually a tool reserved for G Suite users.
G Suite. Oh, that's right. You did mention that. G Suite.
Talked about that yesterday.
How sweet is that?
That's a good move, though. I mean, considering Zoom is obviously overloaded at the moment.
Yeah. Is that going to be a Zoom killer or no?
I don't think it'd be a Zoom killer, but certainly it will help fill in some gaps.
I think there might be some privacy issues, though, too. People might be concerned about that versus Zoom. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out, though.
It's interesting that, Zoom had all that momentum, and then they kind of made some poor choices on what they had done was regarding the privacy type stuff. And it just kind of deflated them, so to speak. I mean, I wouldn't say completely, but there's a lot of people that use like Ecamm Live, for example, on the Mac, and they've then made it harder for them to use Zoom with it. And there's some workarounds, so to speak, but you know what I mean? It's kind of reverting back to older versions of Zoom. And I mean, nobody really necessarily wants to do that, but yeah. So, I mean, I know I guess it's sad for any good company, when they make a choice that kind of derails their, their momentum kind of thing. But I'm also all for competition as well, in the sense that it then tends to make companies hunker down and make their product or service better, or sometimes makes them go niche, because they're like, well, we don't necessarily want to compete with these guys, even though people kind of lump us together. We're really focused more on this niche or niche.
I prefer niche. Having studied French for so long, niche is
niche.
Très bien.
So.
It is nice to at least see, other folks jumping in on this, because there's certainly need for Facebook to kind of pop in and work on their own native app, and then seeing Google jump into things, I think makes sense. Zoom unfortunately got really pressured with trying to make so many quick changes that it's almost impossible to keep up with this kind of stuff.
But you figure they'd be fairly nimble. That Zoom would be, as a smaller company, would be fairly nimble and able to make those changes. Where you see something huge like YouTube, there's a lot of layers to go through in terms of making major changes.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept, because it obviously depends. We watched when Hangouts first came out, Google threw a lot of money at Hangouts, and Facebook at that point was kind of like, oh, we'd really like to improve our Messenger and our, and they started to do that, and then the guy who was a developer of Facebook, I can't remember his name, but he said, oh, I wish I had the kind of budget that Google is putting forth on Hangouts. And so now everybody's got that kind of budget to lay out. Go ahead, Troy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, as far as nimbility, or being nimble.
Nimbility. Nimba.
It's interesting that you'll find sometimes companies may be small, but then unfortunately, sometimes you'll find that a lot of their their people are in the upper echelons of management, and yet their actual coding staff is where it's nimble. So they're not actually able to be so nimble, because then they've got this bottleneck with actual programmers, to where, you know, it takes some time, because it's not like they can throw programmers at it. And that's what's frustrating sometimes, working with even just solopreneurs, when they come out with products that are software and they're having somebody code it. Their software sometimes staff is one person, either themselves, or they actually have it hired out. But it's just, again, you know, you got to be careful when you release your stuff too, because then you don't want to end up going, oh, we got all these bugs, and you have to throw that onto your one guy that you have. And sometimes they're from another country and they have different either work ethic or timing, and this comes from experience. I both worked with programmers from the United States and outside of the United States, as well as even programming myself, things back in the day. And it's just it's a interesting thing to be in software.
Yes.
What's interesting is I'm unable to share the link in several places for people to come on in, but you're more than welcome to come join us.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, comments, contributions, complaints, extra drinks for us?
Wanted to say
is that user error?
No, it's not the interface between the seat and the keyboard this time. So,
interesting.
They always say that.
Always say that.
Excuse me while I chew.
But that actually makes me, oh my gosh, that's funny. I do actually appreciate the fact that he did put it on mute. I was looking at some, in my wind down time for the evening, I'd check out some things on YouTube. And there's this guy who's been coming up with these old nostalgic kind of cookie makers, like for kids, you know, the things they put out, like Easy Bake Oven, all these different kind of like fun food kind of things. Mm-hmm. And he was doing a candy one the other day, and it was you could turn it. It had this thing where you cooked up the candy in it, and more like the candy mix. Then you turned it, it actually made taffy, so it was pulling the taffy for you. And then he's like, oh, let me take a taste, and he, of course, because it's just pretty much his hands video and then the actual product and whatnot. So he puts his mouth, and you could just hear him right up with the microphone. Oh, and I just left. It was so, I could not believe that nobody likes to hear somebody smacking that food or whatever. But anyway, so I'm glad he muted it, which actually brings up a couple things. So one, I started connecting Restream for my stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I suggest people take a look at that, because they do have the free option as well, which actually makes you wonder, as more and more people get on board and what they do have to offer, if they're going to strip that down to what they do offer, because it's actually quite a bit that they offer, even just on the free version.
It is. Yeah. One or two. One.
Well, you're talking about where you can broadcast to?
Yeah, a variety of channels, but it's one at a time.
Yes. Well, they're all simulcasted.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, and I this is me in my late night stuff, looking at it. So it looks like you can simulcast to multiple ones at a time. However, like on the personal or the free, I think they call it the personal account, even though it's weird, because like when you go to their site and you sign up for the free account and then you get in, I think it's like labeled as personal. So I'm all, do I have some kind of different thing? Because I actually had forgotten that I signed up for the free one like forever ago. And so I thought, oh, I better look into this. And then I was trying to log in, and it was all that like email address already has an account associated with it or whatever. And I was like, oh, I guess I did. So I logged anyway. So I got in, and you're able to like broadcast to your personal profile on Facebook, but you can't broadcast in Facebook to a page or groups. So the way that you go, because I assume, John, you have like a paid version, right?
I do. Okay. I don't have Restream though.
Oh, you just use.
I was looking at it. It's kind of like you.
Okay.
Somewhere, I think it was the giveaway. that kind of brought me over there to look at Restream.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't really looked at it much. I have a lot of friends who use it. But
You're just doing yours through StreamYard, right?
StreamYard.
Okay. Yeah. So what it doesn't allow you to do then, like I say, in our case, is to kind of shoot into a group. But
Right.
to me, that's easily workaround is you shoot it to your own page and then you just share that to your group.
Right.
So that's an easy workaround. So note to self, if you guys are if you're going to go ahead and use Restream.io and you get the free version and you want to share it into your group, just broadcast your page and then do like we do pretty much from the beginning of the broadcast, where you just quickly talk to your people, your audience a little bit, and then you get, go ahead and go to your personal page or your personal profile and then click the share button and share it into your group.
Yeah, that's what I do now for groups, to share it over. Because when you StreamYard, when you hook it up, BeLive is different. It looks at all the groups that you own and are part of or a member of, and I could pick any of those groups to send it to. StreamYard's a little different. You have to like set it up at the very beginning, which is kind of good and bad. It's good because it gives you time to like work your way through it and eliminates a lot of groups. But then let's say I start a new group or two later on, and now I want to stream into those groups. I have to actually go back, clear everything out, and pretty much start from scratch, which is kind of one of the things that I don't like about StreamYard.
I know, because I remember you mentioning that, because you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to add the live event marketers group. And then you're like, oh, well, I got to, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. So I've been using
really seems counterintuitive.
I've been using BeLive to do my group broadcasts. And it's much easier. So you can almost make the case that they're both good for different purposes.
Nah.
I
don't know. I actually do like a lot of things with StreamYard, and then again, there's things that I like about BeLive.
Yeah, there is things I like about each one.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm actually looking at, he's going super. The reason why I'm looking at StreamYard is Restream.io, or I'll just say Restream from this point on, is, again, I'd like to just shoot out to some other things as well, Twitch, of course, get some of the interesting Twitch people. So you Twitch watchers that are watching us today, we'll see if we get any interesting comments like we did yesterday. But I actually think I might broadcast some of my stuff over to YouTube as well, because I want to build there's just different audiences that are there, and
I have been YouTube and Periscope.
Yeah, and I definitely want to build an audience there as well. I mean, I've had stuff on there just dinking around over the years, but I mean, what the heck, again, to me, me, I'm about distribution channels, so as many channels as I can get, especially when the ease of being able to implement it is click this, click that, boom, you're done. And actually that brings up another surprising thing today, or a comment or thought. I finally got there. It's a thought. Wow. Is where I find that a lot of people will talk about wanting more reach. Mm-hmm. Again, this is slightly a pet peeve of mine, so this is why I'm bringing it up. And so the live event marketers group, it allows people that have live streams, live events, live webinars, live podcasts, live summits, anything like that, and to be able to post them into the group. And there are a lot of people that go live straight into their to their own Facebook group or just their personal page, and they are related to business or marketing, and they will post occasionally into the live event marketers group. And I'm like, it's so easy to take but a moment to push yourself into another group that's going to reach targeted people that you are trying to reach, and then and they don't do that, and then to see the same people kind of complain about their reach. And so to me, I get frustrated in general when I've worked with anybody or any service, like even when I had my SaaS stuff products out and everything, my services stuff, where you get people that it's really not much work to do, and there's still complaints about it. And it's really kind of, I mean, it's one thing, because I know we all have sometimes those complaints of just, and you're just venting, and it's just kind of one of those days. And so you may be even venting about something that is your own fault, and it's even like this little thing that you can resolve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I get those, and those make sense. But the people that actually complain about wanting to be more successful in their business, and yet they're stepping over the way I see it is like, stepping over dimes to pick, or stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. And what I mean by that, again, is not using these small steps that actually can give you a leveraged result, and then they don't do them. So it's rather really baffles me why that happens.
The blue ocean is made of many drops of water.
There's a word of wisdom for you.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
my blood sugar was dropping so severely that was totally necessary.
Now that we're in this little pause spot, I was going to say, for those of you watching, if anybody would like to join us,
come on in. They can bump me out and I'll have dessert.
Oh my gosh.
I posted the link pretty much anywhere you can be watching. So if you'd like to pop in and join us, feel free. So that's my public service announcement for now. There you go. Cough in that elbow, buddy.
Hey, but I did mute.
Yeah.
People need to know that actually I've been on this stream with you guys, more frequently, but I was a jump on.
You were.
Now I'm a hop on.
Now I'm a can't get rid of.
Yeah, you're
exactly. Now he's like a permanent fixture.
A bad penny.
So
I've never met a bad penny, except for the ones that are stuck with gum on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It's not worth the effort trying to get those, by the way.
No.
A dime is a different.
And if you guys do come on as well, there's no obligation to have to be on every consecutive one. So
no, and in fact, we discourage that.
Very much.
Troy hasn't gotten the message yet.
I haven't gotten the message yet. So in fact, with what you just said too, I still don't even get what you're trying to say. Good.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
Nothing's worse actually when you have. I don't know if you've ever come across this, and it's fairly rare. But when you're really when you're direct with somebody, and it still goes over their head. And you're wow.
Many times. I used to fire patients. So I'd start out with, my sense is that you're really not happy here. And here's a list of 3 doctors where you might be happier.
Possibly.
And they still don't get it.
I have even paid for your first session at this.
Doesn't matter.
Doctor here.
if you're not filling out the paperwork and jumping through the few hoops that I have to get you into the system, I sense you're not going to be happy. So
exactly.
It's like people who don't want to fill out an application to become one of your coaching clients or consulting clients. If they're not willing to fill in even 3 questions, the question is, are they going to be willing to follow your advice and actually put information and expertise into action? And the odds are pretty high that they won't.
Very high, I would say.
Yeah. So that's why it never hurts to do simple things. Even if you really want to exclude people in marketing, I used to remember this for your opt-ins, ask them for their full name, ask them for their email and their cell phone number. And that automatically will take away some of the people who aren't very serious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another interesting point that if you haven't been around in the game, as I call it, for very long, is pricing actually will dictate the type of customer that you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, and not only, well, I guess the main point that I want to point out about that is that the more you charge, the less you tend to have problem customers.
Right. People who are buying $17 or $7 products expecting to push a button and have everything instantly become better are not really good customers. Right. And they give you more customer service issues and refund problems than somebody who may be paying you $1,000, $2,000, $5,000.
Yeah, and I've been finding that a little challenging lately too, because I've thought about some stuff that's a little lower in price.
Yeah, but a little lower is not going all the way down to $7 or $1.
No. But still, it brings you into potential problem territory.
Oh yeah, no, but there are people who, some really top marketers whom I know, who are marketing a whole number of that sweet spot, that $27 to $37 digital product.
Yeah.
And maybe there's 90 minutes of a broadcast, some worksheets, a little follow-up, and maybe even a small Facebook group. And that's just like the ultimate lead magnet for me, because it's a participatory type of product. And you can't, well, you could sit back and do absolutely nothing. But if somebody's got $20 to $30 in the game, they're probably going to, or $40, they're going to do something.
Well, and also a lot of those that do it at that price point are doing them as slows or SLOs or self-liquidating offers,
right?
To where they're using it to basically pay for their advertising.
But if you have a $37 product, that's a lot of ads just to get a. I mean, yeah, because you could do it.
Well, it also, I mean, there's a lot of things depending, meaning that, okay, so yeah, $37, and you say, well, how much are you having to pay per?
That's a lot of ads, depending on how many you sell.
Right, but at the same time, I mean, it depends on how much you're having to pay to generate that sale. So, I mean, say if it costs you $15 per sale, well,
right.
I mean, then in essence, you make $2 for that $37. But so that's why you're seeing some of those.
Yeah.
And it is actually, that is a nice way to do things, is basically have a self-liquidating offer.
Right.
And I guess we could throw that out if people are not familiar with what a self-liquidating offer is basically you determine what you need to generate a paying customer. So let's say again, we'll just round numbers, $25. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then you want to then sell your product for $25 so that it in essence pays for itself, or so it liquidates itself. So now you've generated a customer. Now, if you can, pad that a tad bit and make some extra little bit of gravy, that's great. But at the same time, sometimes you're wanting to run through the numbers as well, because then you're gonna, like you say, you'll deliver your product, but out of that, you're gonna find a certain amount of people that'll continue on with you or buy additional products and services that you have, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the cover charge for the club, and then once they get in, they're going to buy bottles and have a table and do all those things, and probably they will keep coming back to your little internet marketing club. Not that we're selling bottles today, but that would be liquidating.
I saw 2 water bottles, I think she set down. So there's bottles in the image.
There are bottles.
There are exercises.
So, I got a picture.
Yeah, here I come again. Yeah.
There she goes.
Bottles.
All right. Stay hydrated.
That's right.
Okay.
I had another thought as well that popped in my head and then it went back out.
I'm sorry.
It got rinsed out with too much water talk.
Too much water. Or whatever's in this cup.
Well, we don't see the little tea bag hanging thingy off the side, so
I didn't have time.
What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to just you tape it, the string to the side thing. So it's always there. Yeah, it's always there.
It's always there. The question is, would it be machine washable? It just stays on the outside, and I don't have to keep fiddling with taping something in there.
Hey, you don't wash it, man. You just rinse it out. You're good.
Super oil.
Quick rinse.
Quick rinse.
Alcohol wipes around the edge.
Yeah.
So what else is on the potpourri for you and me and thee?
For me, I am going to start doing some of my own live snippets into the group besides the group update.
Besides
live
membership updates, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, those are helpful. I mean, they play their role, but at the same time, I have been posting various little things for people to get to know me in general into the group, which I think is good in a group. You can always be business, but at the same time, you also trying to build a relationship with your group, your people, your tribe, right? So I've posted some little snippets of things like that in there, mainly actually past things that I've found have popped up in memories on Facebook, and so I've shared them into the group. But I'm going to share some of my actual knowledge, as far as marketing. Haven't been in the industry for quite some time, and then probably doing those in a live snippet format. So,
any thoughts about putting up little memes or things of that sort, like visuals for people who are just kind of scrolling by on hints and tips and tricks about live broadcasts?
Yeah, actually, I have done that in the group, just barely.
I haven't scrolled far enough, I guess.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, what happens is, they go in, and then then somebody posts a live, and so it just everything gets pushed down. But
or you pin them to the top once a week or something like that. Just as
I could do that.
That's just a thought.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Then it always becomes like, oh wait, this one should be pinned. No wait, this one should be pinned. That to me is kind of hard deciding. But like I did post, I'd actually did a small video that I put in the group from an experience that. Okay, so here's the story, and I actually talked about it in the group live. Was somebody came into the group, and this kind of is both. I think. We got a cat burglar. Yeah, it's going up the stairs.
You have a cat burglar?
Oh, it's a cat. But,
oh, it's a cat.
Yeah. But so somebody came into the group, and I think they've been in the game for a little while. But what they did is they did a live, but was a straight up pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so going to turn off people. Unless they just they love you to death and they want to hear you, but to come into a group where the group has a particular focus and then you're doing opposite of that, and and on top, so anyways, it was a straight up pitch. And so what I did is it made me think of putting together. I did actually create like a little video that repeats itself, but what it shows is so somebody like that's on a camera filming somebody else, so it represents you being like live, right? And then it has, you'll have to go see the animation in there, but so it's an animated video, and it shows the word your attendees on it. So in other words, the people that are watching you. And I talk about how you need to put yourself in their shoes, and before you do your live or presentation, and think about them. And so I showed that, and it was on, and so this little thing was on fire, and so it's disintegrating.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, that's the one where that's the one where I say, I'm like, put yourself in their shoes. So I'm like, to come into a group that's about marketing and business, and then you just come up as a straight pitch, you didn't provide any value for somebody to watch your video. There's no problem with pitching in the group, is what I say, but provide some value, and then basically a soft pitch, a tagline, where people can learn more about you, or some conference you have coming up. Yeah, or even, like say, it can even be a paid conference you have coming up, and let people know about that. But people are going to want to watch for the content and what they can learn. And I just saw this person just completely burning everybody in the group. And now the thing that I said yesterday, talking to the group, was, now you're going to condition people. The second they see you post into the group, they're just going to skip past your video because they're like, is this guy going to just be a pitch fest? And nobody likes a pitch fest.
Yeah, it's like you invite somebody to your Christmas party. They're coming to it for the very first time, and they start selling you life insurance just as they cross the threshold.
Right.
So
I did that with a summit. There was a particular summit that completely rubbed me the wrong way, because it became like a giant complete pitch fest. They said, oh, it's going to be such a great educational summit. It was just like pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch for the whole thing.
Hey, so how do they rub you the right way? Or shouldn't we talk about that?
No, if it was like Troy said, if it was educationally oriented, if it was what they said it was going to be, I would have been fine with it. I don't mind somebody going through something that's very educational, and then at the end, make a soft pitch, and for something.
Well, that's that's been a strategy for a lot of webinars. I know that, is it okay with you if at the end I offer you something that I have, and you get the attendees to type in, yeah, that's cool, no problem. But usually you have a bit of a reputation as a fairly decent marketer when you can make that kind of a pitch at the beginning, saying, at the end, if I have something that can help you, would you be interested?
And I think it's wrong for the summit model anyways, unless you're going to do a workshop that's educationally based. You can have a soft pitch at the end, or just make it straight educationally based to just, get more known in the community.
Yeah.
Or we were going to run one with our virtual software It was much more like a live event,
Right.
where you would go, and then you could have the summit, you could have a workshop even, and then we've got that expo center. So we were going to have in the expo center where, the different people that were involved could like literally have their own booth, which I think would be really cool. And so that's the kind of stuff that I would.
What would a person pay for a virtual booth? I'm really curious because I've paid as much as $450, $1,200, $1,500 for a booth at a convention. So.
Yeah. I mean, I could see where you could literally charge almost the same thing.
Really? I guess it depends on your audience too. If they have money to spend.
Yeah.
Not only your audience, but if you can guarantee that they're going to get eyeballs, so in other words, they're not going to pay, and then like 4 people attend the whole thing.
It's better than a banner ad. You actually have your little booth right here.
For me, it was really going to be part of people's participation. So if somebody said, you know what, I'd like to participate in your event, great, we'll give you a booth as part of it. And sponsors, if you're going to be a sponsor, a little bit of holiday kind of stuff, I thought would be really nice for an event like that.
You got to tell truth if you get in a booth.
Yeah.
Don't fib to our attendees.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
I learned something else last night as well, is to always read your emails.
Yes, read your emails. Why, was there something in there that you were neglecting?
So yes, I was making a purchase that had to be at the end of the 30th. So
I forgot my coupon.
And well, not only do you need to read your email, but you need to. Okay, let me just say how I run things. So even if I state, so whenever I've done a sale, so I may state, ends like midnight Eastern time, whatever.
Right.
I always make it go past that so that somebody, because I plan it all the way back to California time.
Thank you so much.
I mean, because one, people don't always read, and two, just be cool with your stuff. I mean, come on now. But so I'm looking at my clock, so I'm Mountain Time, right? And I'm like, okay, I got half an hour. I think I've got how I want the things I want to buy from this company.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, there's no section for me to put the coupon in. Let me check the email again. Ends at midnight. And get a load of this too. Central time.
Oh no.
So it was really 12:30. So I missed it by a half an hour. And hey, nobody uses Central time.
No, nobody uses. Well, you do if you're in Chicago and Houston.
So
Dallas,
anyway,
I noticed that because there was a plethora, huge abundance of internet marketers for a long, long time here in San Diego and LA, the whole West Coast. Most of these digital course and product offers and even service offers ended at midnight Pacific. And I got used to that. And I can't tell you the number of times I've missed out because my brain couldn't register any longer that something could end at midnight Eastern, which is 9 p.m. here. And I had one thing slip by me 2 days ago just because of that. I was like, wait a minute. I thought you were Pacific all the time. Just because you moved to Puerto Rico doesn't mean that you suddenly can abandon us who've gotten used to purchasing things Pacific time. So,
yeah. And so with that in mind, actually, I'm going to start doing also within my group some more
mountain time. Everything's going to be mountain time.
Well, actually, the cool thing is when you put in live events, like even when I took this one from today that we're doing right now, and John shared it with me. Well, then I was able to share it. It actually will show in your time zone, which is
that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And actually, I like how that does with Webinar Jam. It'll show in your time zone,
right?
Because people need that, But I'm going to start doing some viral type stuff and some contest type stuff within my own group as well.
Yeah. Well, be sure that you do Greenwich Mean Time -8 or something. That will be helpful.
I was waiting for that smirk because I'm like, I don't know if he's serious on that one because.
No, I know that you mentioned that somebody was putting in UK time and as if that was their big market.
That was, I think that was the only thing they had put was like GMT -8. And then
GMT -8. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I know what that means.
That would be here in California, actually.
But not a lot of people really know what that means. I mean, like I don't see that as often as I used to. Like back in the beginning of the internet stuff, you used to see that all the time.
GMT -5 was the East Coast.
And so it's just kind of funny to see that they would do that. I suggest that people, when they post times, is to give, I say almost say, okay, minimally 1, but I'd say 2, and that's again like Pacific and Eastern time.
I usually like Pacific Eastern. I don't see too many people posting Mountain Time. I'm sorry to say, Troy, but unless they're local.
Yeah, I'm not offended.
You're not offended? Good. So from now on, I will never mention mountains.
We used to post the link to the world clock too. So that
the world clock.
The world clock.
The atomic clock.
Plug in there's a world clock.
Oh, where you can see the whole the Terminator going across.
No.
That's the one where you can see which part of the planet is in light and which part is in darkness. No. I've seen that one before. It's always interesting.
Good one, though.
Oh well.
So in other words, I'm going to be adding some more activity and interaction type stuff within the group.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then so now, I mean, heck, now that the announcements looks like they're starting to kick back in. I'm going full force into I mean, not that I haven't been, but I've been on really like recruit mode into the group.
Was there a signing bonus, by the way? Because I don't recall getting
one. The
once I signed for you recruiting, it checks in the mail. Yeah, we're looking for another check in the mail that still hasn't arrived.
It should be direct deposit.
No.
Both my wife and I's were direct deposit.
That's good. I'm glad. Yeah. We need the signature.
Oh.
So, but I think so with a group that you have, you should be looking to do, again, like I'm doing some of the even, just the what do you call them, like memes,
right?
And kind of pointers and tips, and I think it's interesting when you start a group too, that there's little questions like, I don't know, do I allow that, or is that okay? Because you have your kind of rules of what your group, or even a theme of what it is. And so for me, it's been interesting because certain things will come up, and I have to weigh that across, not only now, but like, well, how will that affect it in the future? And is it appropriate or not appropriate?
Like our Instagram live questions when they were done.
Right. Yes. Kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, so I can't answer to that.
Instagram live questions.
Was that the one that? Was that
the
one
we were talking about?
We
did an Instagram live, but we couldn't.
Okay, yeah.
The group, and therefore it was live, but it no longer is live. Ipso facto, no goodo.
Right.
Okay.
So
and that was the day I
was
for sure wasn't on that day because that you guys were all doing your Instagrammy stuff, and I'm like,
Instagrammy with my mammy. Hey, speaking of contests, are you going to be? Can people enter to win that sheet, the first of the signature series?
Actually, this is the first one will always be kind of like your, the first dollar that you hang up in your brick and mortar.
That goes in the Smithsonian.
So number 2, we might go ahead and do that as the raffle option.
Have you considered going with a paisley theme or something like that? Flowers.
Plain vanilla.
You could be
plain vanilla. Tan.
Because then you can adjust it to whatever you want after that. Let your kids write on it.
How about a green sheet? And then we can adjust whatever we want on your back.
Yeah, that would be a different kind of adjustment, wouldn't it?
It would be. That's like when the
Queen. Actually, that's a virtual adjustment.
Yeah, when the Queen wore that green dress when she made her big announcement several weeks back, and people just took that green and started changing it to all kinds of things.
I got to try streaming. I got with a screen.
Yeah, we should.
They have the green screen mode.
Can we get a green screen?
I have a green screen.
I saw share screen. Camera.
The thing that's interesting though, with pretty much anything that's live streaming material equipment, like on Amazon, is like sold out big time.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
It says it's going to use a lot more computer resources.
Yeah, because it's going to have to replace every frame. It's got to replace the background.
Oh boy.
Right.
So
interesting.
Get yourself another stick of RAM.
It's not working. It's too resource intensive.
Oh yeah, but I did notice it was on here the other day. I was like, oh, I wonder how that works compared to the Zoom one.
That's a good question.
I haven't been a big fan of the Zoom one. It would be cool to see somewhere along.
Oh, backdrop color. I can make it blue apparently. I don't think it's going to work.
You need to have a green
You
screen.
need to have a green screen.
No, but it also offers you. It says that you can create a backdrop color. It says backdrop color, green or blue. So you could just do a plain blue background, apparently.
Well,
I think
yes, but it's
green.
on top of the green screen.
Yeah,
it would be
weird. Oh, it's on top of it?
like Zoom tries to do it
projected.
without a green screen, and it doesn't work very well. And
Huh.
I always laugh at people trying to use that because somebody tried to use one the other day, and they had a funky bookshelf behind them with a odd design, and you could just see like this arched thing sticking out behind them. It was really intriguing. So it definitely pays to have the right background for what you're trying to do.
Yeah, probably have to get a lot more RAM.
Especially stuff like that. So my friend did one. He's working on a tennis course, and he had photos taken. He was at the Coliseum in Rome. He had photos taken of the Coliseum, and they got a tennis court down in the center of the Coliseum with two guys playing tennis on it. That's what he uses for his backdrop. It's really cool looking. It's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did the lions come out and eat them?
That would be very cool to see.
That's after there's a loser.
That's after there's a loser.
The winner exits, and then the loser has to stay on there. And
what about the tiger? Will the tigers come in?
I'll have to make that suggestion to him that somebody comes out to eat the loser and then
eat the loser.
Pretty well. Yeah, because you can run video backgrounds. They've got one now that's a palm tree in Zoom. You can see the palm tree waving in the breeze. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh, I see. It is. I actually do need to have my green screen. I should try that sometime. I got one in the back.
Yeah, I got one of the little portable ones.
Yeah, I got a big portable one. I've never used it.
I think it's the same brand that Restream is giving away in their giveaway.
Hey, when do we get those results?
Well, I don't. It's their contest, not mine. The funny thing is I looked at it today, and I
think it was last night.
They said they're going to announce it. Yeah, well, it ended last night, and it ended Pacific time, 11:59.
Pacific time.
Yeah. And they say they're going to announce the winner on their Twitter page. Cool. And I've checked. They haven't apparently picked one yet.
Let's go to Twitter, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, it's kind of funny that they haven't
Twitter
said anything yet.
I'm surprised how many.
They wouldn't go to Instagram or something like that.
Instagram what?
They wouldn't go to Instagram. They made you go to all their different social media properties.
Well, I think that they focus a lot on or something, or they're big. They have, I don't know, with
their greatest following might be
on Twitter. So
using Gleam.
Yeah, they used Gleam for run their contest.
Restream. There's their official. There's a bunch of Restreams. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and
but they have the little blue checkbox. So
I think it's super interesting that they have yet to announce it. I mean,
yeah, it's not there in their Twitter feed.
As a contest entrant, I would be frustrated.
I am quite perturbed.
I mean, it's over 12 hours ago that the contest finished, and why would you have not picked one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's the matter with them? Pick a winner.
I don't know.
Huh.
So yeah, in fact, if you click on the contest, it'll tell you that it's ended and that's it. So ended April 30th, 11:59 PST. One winner will be drawn and notified via email to claim their prize, and will also be announced on our Twitter page.
I'm all Twitter pated now. I have nothing
Did you enter there, Dr.
I did enter.
You might want to check your email.
I'm checking my email. You are a lucky winner.
You are the lucky winner.
You are the lucky winner of a stress ball.
That might be helpful.
Or that boss. Yeah, no, I just have an email about restoring our Amazon merch products.
Huh?
That's all I got. I guess we should. Apparently, they were selling, and I just neglected them for several months.
Oh, you had specific things of your own selling on Amazon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's really strange to see things trickling in from designs that I made with Canva. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So,
And anything in particular, like?
Yeah, you'll have to talk about that.
You know, we did this sort of as a lark, because I come up with all kinds of crazy sayings and different things like that. And I did a number of funny Mexican shirts, and they sold very well.
Oh, wow.
So, but we've neglected them, and if certain items are not sold within a specific time period, they drop those items from your list, and you need to bring them back up again, or restore them, or upload them once more. But some of those things just keep selling, which is remarkable to me.
Did you do them on a, you know, like you had a certain run of them printed and sent?
No. It's all print on demand. Yeah, all POD stuff. Yeah, and so it's just on a percentage. But it's so strange to see money continue to trickle in. It must be the kind of thing that actors and producers and directors feel when the royalties are popping in on something you did 4 years ago or something.
You should actually talk about that for a little bit of a side hustle.
It is a good side hustle, actually. You just need to devote a lot of time to it. The good thing about, say, Merch by Amazon or some of the other ones, Redbubble and others, is that once you have set things up and you have to have really, really unique designs. And it never hurts to put some money behind ads, particularly in Facebook, maybe display
and or
ads
an audience that you can send to that.
Well, and an audience, and that's the whole point. You develop an audience, creating a Facebook group or page. Like, I know we have some friends who have Crazy Cat Lady was one of theirs. And so, but they would use that group and gather hundreds of thousands of people. And once they have their audience later, and it may take them 6 months to a year to develop that audience, then they would start pitching products, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, things of that sort. But that's a whole strategy in and of itself, is Facebook audience development, because you really need to consider what kind of things I was going to say pinning, because I'm so much into Pinterest now. What kinds of things you're posting. Sometimes you want viral videos, you want your own memes, your own videos, and there's a real art to increasing engagement. And the more engagement you can have within your Facebook group, the more Facebook will organically share it with other people. And that can be a boost to any sort of e-commerce business that you are promoting. But we got out of one e-commerce business big time. We had bicycle lights and flashlights and other things like that. And I had to give away a huge amount of inventory to the local Goodwill just to clear out the garage, because I got tired of paying for Amazon warehousing these things in 3 different locations. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, group engagement definitely is interesting. That's why I'm looking at adding a little more, a few things, memes that are pertinent. Other like little, sometimes I'll even do maybe short articles where you can read, because I do want my group, and this is what I'm saying, you're learning as you do your group, what's acceptable, what's not, and sometimes somebody says something to you like, hey, can I do this? And you go like, wow, okay, I need to see how does that fit in or not fit in. And then if I let one person do it, does it cause a cascading problem of so you have to really think these things out, and because I would like to have the group not feel also that it's just post live events or streams and interact with those, but don't do any other interaction. Like, don't post anything, don't like ask questions about like streaming setups. Hey, does somebody use this equipment? I think that is appropriate for the group.
Yeah, I mean, you have something like, I tried this ring light and it burned out. Has that been anybody else's experience? But you're not really looking for reviews, but you're looking for advice, perhaps for replacements for certain pieces of equipment. Like, I know you were talking about that device where you could just kind of push something and what is that thing that you push and go to?
It's called the Stream Deck.
Stream Deck. All hands on Stream Deck. But yeah, if it's my group talking.
Yeah, well, you want the group to feel like they're part of something. I don't, again, want the group to feel like it's come in, drop your stuff off.
Drop your kids off and pick them up when you finish work.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just really interesting doing a group. I know I actually I have another group that's one on copywriting, and that one's kind of stagnated in a sense, because when I started it, the main copywriting friend of mine had gotten, well, he almost died. So like I didn't do anything with the group. Like I was hanging out with him and spending time with him, and I didn't know really what I didn't really think too much about the group, because that was actually my very first group that I put together. And it's got like 650 people in it. And I just kind of neglected it. I didn't think about it. I thought like, oh, well, I guess in my mind, like, oh, I'd just come back and you would just start doing stuff and people would just, interact or whatever. But the reality is
it needs CPR. You gotta
yeah.
breathe.
So anyway,
breathe.
So it's interesting just learning the ins and outs of getting a momentum, keeping a momentum.
Yeah.
And then watching certain things, like in my group, having people refer other people into the group, and seeing it kind of build on its own, which is cool. But I also really do see the group as I'm just the one that had an idea that I get to then share with other people, and I don't want to be like a, for lack of a better word, Nazi.
You don't want to be dictator for life.
Yeah, I mean, I want the people to feel comfortable within the context of what the group is. And so, like with John's 30-day challenge, I mean, that again is, as he says, a safe space, right? So people should be able to feel that they can go into there and do videos and whatever. And I could see John then having touted as that. So if somebody was coming in and just like pounding on somebody crazy, it's one thing to have effective criticism, but like if you just were really belittling somebody or something like that to me, I would assume from what I've heard about the group that wouldn't be acceptable. And so it's interesting how you set, your what is acceptable, and then and like say future thinking of it, like will that cause other people to want to do the same thing? And if I let one, it's just quite interesting, the things that you have to.
A lot of it has to do with encouraging people to continue to produce content, and then making suggestions to them or tweaks as opposed to criticizing what they've done. Like, hey, this is a lot better than last time, but I'm not going to tell you that last time was a total whatever.
Or as we said earlier, like the person who goes like this, where the person who posts something and you say that's not the theme of the group, and they go, oh, okay, and then they post another one a week later, basically the same kind of thing.
But they don't learn. That's the problem.
And then and the day after that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they suddenly find that they can't get in anymore. The door has been locked.
Yeah. On the interesting thing too is I have left the group as a public group for right now, just so it's just super easy. You don't have to worry about any kind of thing or whatever. But at some point, I think it'll go.
Yeah, one of my groups started getting spammed within the first 2 weeks, I think, and a member actually sent me messages saying, I don't think you want this to be in here. And that's when I had to close it to private. I needed a little more control as to who got in there, because it was just like the person who suddenly comes in with a pitch fest of day one, hour one, when they've arrived. And it was not helping the other members of the group with any sort of valuable content.
Well, yeah, see, and that's the thing. My mastering copy group, that one is private. And that one I did from the beginning like that. But I thought on this one, since I'm really just trying to open it up to anybody and have it, I don't want Facebook. I mean, in other words, it's about as open as it can get. So I figured Facebook, will help me out in a sense. And I actually haven't had anybody in there that I've had to get rid of. They're all in there wanting to stream, or, it's stream related. But again, the theme then is business and marketing. So within streaming, it's business and marketing kind of thing. So
I guess you could niche it down and create another one that would be, say, streaming for healthcare practices, and it would all be about healthcare and how people were doing it. So you could take the live event and niche it down even further into mini groups.
Right. I mean, because if I just were put, it's just for streaming. I mean, you'd have all the gamers in there posting their streams.
All those Twitch people. Do we have any Twitchers today? I didn't see anything.
Well, no comments from Twitch.
They're ignoring us today.
Yeah.
You haven't had any comments from anywhere. Is anybody alive?
I'm really surprised. I think everybody's. Is this on? Is this thing on?
It's Chill Friday.
It is on.
Is that on?
Yeah. So no, there's two people, says two watching right now.
Two
So
whole people.
if you're watching, say hello.
Say hello.
Okay,
Ask a question.
Let me offer a bit of suggestion here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know why? Mark Zuckerberg is live now.
Oh, is he?
It started 1 minute ago. That's why nobody's here.
Oh,
Maybe.
is I personally think that when you're doing a live stream, never sound desperate and never announce how many people are watching if you know the number.
Oh, I know.
Because then
there are millions.
Because then, well, I didn't say a lie either. But hey, you do you. Because you don't want people to ever think like, oh, so these guys aren't really popular or famous or whatever, or that I should be watching them.
No,
however,
we're so incredibly popular.
There's been people up and down all
Yeah,
through.
people coming in.
Yeah.
Well, I did that with. So I had another broadcast at 1 Pacific, and that was with my friend Monica Klein. And we went through this whole thing, and I never announced the number who were there, but there were a lot of people coming in and disappearing and coming in.
Yeah.
And for the last, I would say 10 minutes or so, I just saw the little 0 up there, and I was like, well, I'm still going to act as if there are tons of people here because there will be people on the replay who are going to see it.
Of course.
Yeah.
In fact, I talked about that the other day, or was that just yesterday, about the replay. I mean, you're going to get X amount, independent. So if you have a following, you can have a large amount during your live,
right?
But a lot of it's actually going to happen as well after on your replay.
Yeah.
And that's why. That's why we're talking about the people saying, "Hey, hashtag replay." Like use that as a.
Because then you get some engagement. You say, hey, if you're watching this on the replay, please use hashtag replay. There's no real reason for it other than to create engagement.
I was going to say, though, it's not like you're hiding anything because people who are watching can see how many people are watching.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like I'm telling them anything they can't see.
It's true. Unless you have that crazy little software with all the hearts and things coming up there.
I also think, which should be happening right now. I think it depends, though. If you're streaming it and it's shot over to some other distribution channels, it's not going to show you the same thing. Meaning, like, you may have nobody on Facebook, but you may have like 12 people over on YouTube or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
or they're going to be.
So that's what I'm saying. If you say we only have 2 people watching, and somebody's watching a replay, they're going to think on YouTube they're watching the replay. They're going to think, oh, so like I'm only the 3rd person now to maybe watch this video. Anyway, that's what I'm just saying. Just take my thought, take my idea, marinate it, do what you got to do, figure it out.
Say anything about it, but it's Friday.
Yeah, it's just let it fly Friday.
Yeah,
and Zook is on the air now. So
I like to make the point though that when you get started broadcasting live, that for some period of time, if you don't have an audience on social media, you may see that there's not a lot of people watching you all the time for quite a while.
Yeah, you may see 0. You could even see 0 for 3 or 4 months, but that shouldn't discourage you.
Right, and that's when you got to learn that it's a marathon and not a sprint. And it's also that people may not be watching you directly when it's on, but we have hundreds of people who stop by afterwards and come to watch. So
you're right. It's a marathon, not a sprint, because Sprint's been acquired by T-Mobile. So
exactly.
I also like to use the phrase the long game.
Yep.
Which actually brings up a good point. Any business really needs to be for the long game. I know people like to see results like right out the bat, right off the bat and super quick, and that's great if you get those. But you also need to be running your business for the long haul, for the long game.
Unless it's a putt-putt golf course, because then it's a short game.
Yeah, kind of relatively short game.
Well, the long game for your short game.
It really depends because sometimes, it depends on who you're with or who's playing, because you can knock the ball and it goes out.
Shoot it off.
And then they say they got to do it again and they bring it back. So
from
actually,
the first tee to the 9th.
Or even
by
if it's
mistake.
It's still kind of a short game. So.
All right. So are we winding up? Oh, we went over.
I think so. Yeah, we can wind up.
3:10. We can wind down.
I was just getting my second wind.
I know. I could.
I saw the sheet blowing back there too. It must have been coming from
another hour.
Was that your second wind? First wind, second wind.
I know. we were listening to all the news today of what's going to be opening up and happening around here.
We don't have much open.
Actually, today's the first day restaurants are open in Utah.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday.
They're talking about ours, I think, towards the end of next week, starting to open again.
Well,
stuff.
We ain't seeing nothing around here.
I know every place is different.
Yeah, you can actually open today, but I got one email from one saying that they're going to be open because I'm like on their list, whatever. And another one said they're going to be opening on the 7th. So they're going to, they're just.
The real question is, see, a business can actually open, but will the customers come in? That's the real question.
Yeah.
And the other
because
thing too,
I think there's some people who are going to be facing that. They've opened and they maybe have 20%, 10% their normal business, the same payroll, the same everything, and it may not be profitable for that business to be open.
Mm-mm.
Well, like I talked about, so I did on he goes by a nickname, but his real name is Oscar Calderon.
Oh.
He did his local business marketing thing that I spoke at, and we kind of talked about that, about breaking even or even losing some.
Right.
But I think that most places, with the amount of curbside they've been getting, they'll take the 20%.
Oh yeah, without
mean?
without a doubt. I mean, we still have restaurants open in this area, but they're all curbside stuff.
So right, what I'm saying, but the quantity that they're getting curbside, 20% is like hitting the lottery for them.
Oh yeah, we've had places here that are 30% their normal business because a lot of people here just don't want to cook. We have a large elderly population, retired people with cash, and they're like, well, I don't want to cook every single meal, so I'll go out twice a day for my meals.
I think I'm not being clear enough. Is what I mean is that there's curbside business that they've been getting now.
Yeah.
But this is 20%, or we're talking about, so here the restaurants can be open for dine in.
Yeah, right.
So they're going to take that 20% because it's going to pay them more than they were making curbside.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I think that, but the numbers, well, yeah,
they would take the 20. Anybody would take anything right now to just kind of at least have a little bit of extra stuff going on. So yeah, I did not understand what you were saying. Now,
that's why I needed to clarify.
Well, I think what I will tell you is the idea that the business is going to have 20% is adding 20% more with dining in. I think that's a little bit of a fantasy, and just watch what happens over the next month.
My point, whatever the number is,
it's better than not.
There's because there's those people that are like, they were doing curbside. There were some people who are just not doing anything, and there's some people like, I want the frick out of my house.
Yeah.
So they're going to go do dine in because they want to, like, look, I want to live, and I'm not going to catch
until
anything.
I die.
Well, that's a relative. That is a whole other conversation of.
I'm schooled in epidemiology, so this is where I don't even want to go down this road.
And all I'm saying is, like,
pathology, epidemiology, and economics all rolled into one.
Yeah, yeah. The way I look at it is, there's whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and people are going to do whatever they're going to do. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just going to stay silent for a change.
I'm waiting for it.
It was a good subject.
No, and look, people are going to do. Yeah. He muted himself. Well, I mean,
he's biting his tongue.
Yeah. No, I mean, the reality is, like, no matter what you do, there was people out, without masks, with masks, people that didn't go out at all that probably could have gone out. You know what I mean? Like, so the whole point is, people are going to do what they're going to do, regardless. You're going to be your rebels, your non-rebels, your in-betweeners, you're all shades of gray in between there. And I know he has a comment for shades of gray, I'm sure. But yeah. So anyway, it's just an interesting. There you go, Eric. See. So according to Dr. V, Eric, you're going to die. So
you're in trouble.
Yep.
I did not say that was going to happen. I just think that you have to look at the risks and rewards and play the odds. May the odds be forever in your favor.
Yes.
Well, it's
and we'll wait for your tribute.
Yeah, it's interesting what happened here because so I listened to the broadcast from the governor a little while ago, And he was saying that we're of course right on the border of Massachusetts, and of course our lower towns got hit harder because
Proximity.
northern Massachusetts got hit very hard, and so some of that is spread across our border. And he opened up camping, and camping is a big thing. And this is really quite interesting to see what's happened, because usually we've got a huge influx up from Massachusetts for camping season and everything else. Well, he opened the campgrounds, but only for New Hampshire residents. So that's all closed. Oh yeah. So this actually brings in a whole thing of so people were asking the governor by phone, the reporters, they said, well, what happens if people from Massachusetts come up to use our hair salon? Can we refuse to serve them? And
you check license plates and they say pull up in your parking lot.
Up all new questions in business and how to deal with it fairly and reasonably, because some people are going to get very angry about all of this. So
well, that's even what I was kind of saying about the group. Like, there's things that come up that you never even thought of, and then you're like, well, how do I handle that? And quickly, Eric did say on the comment of me, I think it was, where I said, you're going to die, and he said eventually yes. So I think that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
eventually.
Death is highly overrated, and so is life.
Indeed. So Big Dog, you want to come on and join us?
Big Dog.
Both of the link.
Big Dog Louvier.
If you do, feel free.
Click it.
You're probably having a glass of wine, but
no, he's digesting his
Guinness, so
he's digesting his fine dinner.
He's kicking back on his meal. Well, actually,
he's on Central Time. We don't talk about Central Time.
I'm going to go out and eat, but actually, I think because I have some work to do, I'm probably just going to go pick it up. So that would have been normally what I would do anyway, like just to call it in and pick it up.
Right.
I guess now it's officially called curbside, but
sure.
Yeah, or takeaway, as some people call
it. Oh yes, takeout.
Takeaway.
We lucked into a side hustle. I don't think I told you guys about this, but just before the virus kind of hit, we were buying books and puzzles and board games and all of this stuff, and we put a bunch of it on eBay, and we've been like selling stuff like crazy. It's been a great little side hustle for us. So
I'm puzzled. Cool. I'm puzzled as to why that would be so nice.
I can't believe the number of people who've been saying, like on Facebook, "Oh yeah, we're doing a puzzle at home. We're working on a puzzle with our kids." So it's been.
We just destroyed one of our puzzles that we finally put together, a 1,000-piece one that had a lot of foliage in it, which really was difficult. So stay away from foliage.
That's interesting. Yeah. So they were saying kind of the same thing. So he said this is what they're doing.
Yeah. What Eric said.
Yeah.
So what Eric's saying is what they're doing here as well. You're going to be spaced out.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if you're forced to wear a mask, but I think you have to. So that's really just being
pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
but I know there's going to be the spacing and all kinds like that. So
yeah, that I think is going to be one of the toughest things here. They talked about the exact same thing. They were going to open up outside seating, and we've got a lot of areas where our restaurants are in strip malls, so it's going to be hard for them to put out outside
strip malls. Is that where the strippers eat?
No.
Well, they're still going to just basically space you out though wherever you sit. No, so in other words, you're not going to be all in one area.
I know.
And it's funny. Eric says we could take the mask off once at the table, and I was just going to make a joke too. I'm like, that's interesting. You have a mask on, and how do you eat?
I know. I just say that. But I know you got to take the mask off to eat.
Yeah.
See,
my mask is wet. I got a wet mask.
So really,
is it wet from the inside or the outside of the thing? You're drooling on yourself.
Both.
So, any final thoughts for today?
Any final thoughts?
What are you talking about? Eric just got here. It's like I said,
let's talk baseball.
And you're going to shut down. You're going to shut down his entertainment viewing pleasure. I can't believe, John, that you just would think so little of Eric like that.
We need to talk NBA, MLB, NFL.
Hey, what do you think, Brady and Gronk, Eric?
Brady's twiddling his thumbs in Tampa.
And Gronk,
Gronk.
Back again.
I thought Gronk's an announcer. He's back again?
He's in Tampa now, yeah.
Gronk is in Tampa? Oh, the world is coming to an end.
I know, man.
I got my zombie shirt on, so
it was bad enough when they both became vegans.
Hey, so here brings up a great concept that Louvier can definitely speak to. We were talking today. What's going to happen with all the sports? Because
empty arenas.
The playing is still going to go on, but how are they going to get revenue from it?
Good luck.
To a new mode of pay-per-view.
They're going to have to increase ad rates. Yeah, it would have to be pay-per-view. It would be premium channels on your cable.
Well,
it's going to change football all premium.
Sometime back, I heard, and I think this was a couple weeks back, leading up to what they wanted to do, but the president was saying something about actually letting people sit in the seats. So I mean, and I only
it's called the bench.
Here and there, but I didn't really pay attention to all what he was saying. But I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting.
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart in the seats. Watch the capacity of a stadium go down. That means 6 feet apart in front of you, behind you, and to your sides. You're gonna have to quadruple ticket prices to make up for that.
Well, it's really funny to think of what's going to happen with a lot of these things. I mean, this is going to change business as we know it.
Well, it changes a lot because I remember there's a dental office. She did a video, which was really nice. It was well done. But she was so proud that she's taking temperatures for all the dental patients coming in. She's scanning the forehead. And the problem is people who are asymptomatic but are carriers don't have a temperature. So it wasn't really solving the problem, but it was a really good effort to do video and live video for her patient base.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this comes back to talking the nitty gritty, but yes, I agree with you with asymptomatic people, but at the same time, I mean, how much is she really helping? Probably, this much, but something's better than nothing. And I think at least it helps people feel that they're doing something.
Well, I think it's more of an emotional feel good than it really is true epidemiology. That's the thing.
No, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it helps them feel better. And I don't know if you did catch, one out of the, I don't know how many. 20,
I'm protecting myself from your advice, Troy.
That come in a day. If somebody has a temperature, I guess, you could turn them away. But I mean, like, yeah. So
nice. Where's your printed mask? They made you a printed mask.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of those. They're downstairs, though.
Nice.
We wash them every time we use them, which is good.
I was going to say, jumping back to your eBay.
Yeah, it was interesting. I went to a store. It was actually a warehouse where we got boxes of food, like you get yours delivered, John. Oh, yeah. And they had fruits and vegetables and other things, and a flat of eggs and a milk. And they had a bunch of masks that were sitting there. And I thought, well, how much are these? And they were dirt cheap. I think they were like 50 cents a piece or $1 a piece. So I just bought a bunch of them.
That's cool.
They're allegedly disposable, but you really can, based on some of our friends who are in the medical corps and the military, you could spray them down like with isopropyl alcohol or Clorox or something like that, and probably get 3 uses out of them. They do the material deteriorates a little bit though. But I like the colorful ones better.
Spray them down with chloroform.
They're harder to breathe through.
Chloroform.
I actually prefer the bandana because I look more like a train robber.
It's that over your head thing you're talking about.
Strike 2. Okay, here we go. Dr. V.
Lost my earbud.
Dr. V. Oh, Dr. V, here we go.
That might be the reason. He lost
that's what it is.
It's over.
He hasn't been listening to us at all. He really cares less what we're saying. I see what it is.
Yeah, when you take the mask off, it carries your earbud with you too.
Do we use laptop? I'm using laptop or desktop.
I'm desktop
for these.
Laptop.
And this is StreamYard.
StreamYard. It's not hard.
What I was going to say, Dr. V, on those for the spray down, use chloroform.
No, I'm going to use formaldehyde, just like all the cadavers. It works great. It sterilizes every cadaver just before you bury them.
That formaldehyde smell.
We never know what we're going to be talking about here.
Formaldehyde. Hey, it's Formaldehyde Friday, everyone.
Okay, you said eBay. What were you going to say about eBay?
Oh, eBay. Well, I was going to say that. So I did Amazon FBA.
Oh yeah.
For a year to give it a good old college try and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty cool platform. However, they still have a lot of issues in the sense of how the system works, how it can be gamed, rigged.
The ads and everything else. And sometimes Amazon steals your idea. They find your manufacturer and they will duplicate your product. So
I've heard of this happening quite frequently.
it has happened to some people we know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So and then so eBay. So I still have like some inventory. In fact, that's what's behind this curtain.
Oh, cool.
Do you want curtain number 1 or
It's
curtain number
inventory.
1?
I want to take the box.
Yeah, it's some inventory that I have, and I probably should eBay it and stuff like that. But I'm like, that's just
no, or it could be part of the contest for live event marketers.
Maybe
you could win. You could win one of these items, but you have to pay for shipping.
But they're like some non-related things, though. I mean, like I've got a couple Minecraft blankets.
Minecraft blankets keep you warm and cozy when you're live broadcasting.
Yeah, it's a random.
We can make anything related to live broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yes, I could do that.
You could make a sheet related to live broadcasting.
That's true. I could actually do that.
The random contest.
The random contest. The surprise, the mystery box, like Rich Sheffrin had.
Everybody loves a mystery box.
Oh yeah.
That's true. We could do like a mystery item and then have some kind of marketing material in there. So at least it's somewhat related.
Stick some sort of copy. Put one of your best copy, your best emails, stick it in there with the random item.
Although, the worst thing in the world is, now this has been going on for actually too long, but I had noticed that shipping prices, oh my gosh,
he's a jeweler.
Shipping prices have been increasing.
Everybody wants one of these.
And it's so dumb. It makes no sense. Shipping has been increasing over the past few years, right?
Yeah.
And so the pricing is going up. I mean, come on now, let's get real.
Part of the reason the pricing is going up is because they have to hire more people.
Yeah, but
I'm looking at that.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense because usually when the demand increases and I know somebody's going to be yelling at the screen when I say this, but again, I know when hard costs increase, I understand that has to get passed on to some degree. But we're also in 2020, so where's the technology involved to where if they could do it at a reasonable price prior to when they've started increasing them, how all of a sudden does it jumps? It's just, to me, jumped astronomical. My dad ordered something from eBay just today, and it was a $36 item. And he said that it cost him more to have it shipped to him than the price of the item.
Well, that's
me having done shipping.
People gouging. Yeah, that's not.
Well, yeah, actually, that's true too. eBay is a different scenario. But even if you just go to ship something like through regular UPS, like you go down to the UPS store and ship something to a friend, and I'm like, this cost what? To me, the pricing just does not make sense.
Well, but there's supply and demand. But if you can't fulfill the demand because you have to pay higher wages or something like that, that kind of messes up the whole equation about if demand increases, that the prices should go down.
I get what you're saying. And I do think that, if we're really,
I think there's a little bit of that going on in the macro and microeconomics playing with each other.
I just also still think there's a little bit of funny business in there, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, especially in the eBay world. When I see something on Amazon, there are a few.
Well, no, I'm talking about the shipping industry, period.
Oh, the shipping industry. Yeah, they've been playing with that stuff forever. I remember the FedEx and UPS had, what were they? Fuel surcharges. Oh, and those were never taken away, even when the price of oil started dropping.
Oh, so like taxes, like the temporary tax that your city does so they can build a new road, whatever the thing is, that it's a temporary, so they can build the new school thing, whatever, and then somehow that tax never disappears.
It happens. Tolls are that way too. Although in some places they actually have taken away the toll booths. Like here in Coronado, the bridge was finally paid for from San Diego to Coronado. There are no more tolls since that.
Okay, see, that's to me that's rare.
It's a rarity. Now they don't know what to do with all the toll booths.
Oh,
because all those toll booths are sitting there. And you definitely have to slow down, though. It's good because it slows people down because they don't want to hit the sides of the toll booth going too fast.
That's positive. You should try driving my bus through one of those things.
The Big Dig. How do you go? Do you go under the? Do you go on 93 or no?
Oh yeah, I've driven it on 93
all
over the place, but going through those toll booth barriers.
Oh yeah.
Like whoa, it's like so wide because it's wide.
You got one of those narrow ones, though. You need a Sprinter. See if you can condense everything into a Mercedes Sprinter.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Troy doesn't know about my bus.
No, I do. Well, I do know. The only thing I know about it is that it's extra long.
It's
32
it's
feet.
the magic bus.
It's extra long. It's actually small by comparison to.
No, but remember how you said that you went? You told me you had went somewhere.
He needs a 32-foot driveway.
And it hung out a little extra than.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by long.
That was Gene Pimentel went somewhere. My friend Gene, and he went to Chicago, and he hung out over the sidewalk almost into the road.
They ticket him.
His was 35 feet long. No.
Oh, sorry.
He was sleeping in it overnight, so.
Okay, so wait a minute. So is his is the long one, or was yours that he was borrowing?
His is longer than mine. His
so somehow I'd equated that yours was the extra long one. Okay.
No, do you have RV Envy?
Mine's 32 feet long. His was 35 feet long. Roughly. No, I like the shorter bus. Be honest with you. I expect some kind of thing to come.
Oh yeah.
I know he's biting his tongue over there, so it's all good.
I'm doing a Twitter reload to see if Restream has announced their winner.
Twitter reload, refreshing on Twitter. That's going to be our activity for the rest of tonight. Let's refresh Twitter right now. Restream. We should send out a tweet to Restream and say, "Hey, where's the winner?
Who won the contest?"
And you know what the funny thing is they'll probably announce it whenever they do, right? Yeah. And then they'll respond to yours and it'd be like, oh, well, we did that 4 hours ago. So in other words, they'll whatever, put the answer whenever, they'll wait. It'll end up be about 4 hours to get back to you. And then you're like, well, whatever.
Okay, thanks. Oh, it's not me anyway.
When are you announcing?
Are you for real?
The winner? Oh, I'm sending him a tweet.
Yeah, about 8 jokes to all that short and long topic. Yeah, probably.
Winner.
Go with all those.
Oh yeah.
Eric.
Good. Done. Let's go look for my tweet.
All right.
So I don't know. Any other final thoughts on anything we have?
We had final thoughts like a half hour ago.
I know. Yeah. We ended up in one big final.
It's like one last nail in the coffin.
It's
to mix our metaphors.
It's Friday. We can't stop talking.
Don't you have to make dinner, John?
No, I made dinner an hour ago.
You did? Are you going to warm it up, or it's a cold salad?
Early dinner tonight.
You had early dinner?
Early dinner.
Oh, well, let's go on for another hour.
Whatever you want. I don't know how many people can put up with us for
isn't it date night? It's not date night.
Not tonight.
No.
So Eric, I guess, disappeared. He came in.
No, he just barely tossed on another comment.
Oh, he tossed on another comment?
I had about 8 jokes to all that short and long topic.
It's like tossing another shrimp on the barbie.
No.
Kind of. No, not quite like that.
See, we're competing with Mark Zuckerberg and Joel Comm, apparently. So that's why
it's a lot of competition.
It's a lot of competition on a Friday.
And then there's all the other ones that we don't even know about. So
there's a lot of competition. I found that Fridays are not typically as good I know you're
Monday through Thursday is best, I think.
Buddy. He's here, so we got Eric.
Who here?
Eric's here.
He is here?
He's here.
I don't see him.
I am here.
Right Where there. Is he?
He says, I'm here. Right there.
Guapo? Guapo?
El Guapo.
El Guapo.
That's the guy in Mexico.
8 jokes. Well, he's got those 8 short jokes.
We're working our jokes. We're a little rusty. I
need better writers.
Fire the writer you have now.
I love that Conan O'Brien Zoom bombing, though.
Zoom bomb. It's better than Zumba. It's more interesting.
I'd like to
get more fulfilling.
Conan to come bomb one of our meetings. I think that'd be fun.
But we're not on Zoom. That's the thing.
Well, how did he Zoom bomb somebody unless he got an invitation?
He got a link.
Oh, they put out the link. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that came from the Three Amigos.
Zoom bomb?
Is it El Guapo? Which is
El Guapo is different than
is a G, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. Eric's commenting and stuff, and I was like, just come on. Just get on, just jump in.
He might be having a bad hair day. That's what he has told me in the past.
Or a bad wine day.
Bad wine day.
But at the same time, like, it's easy just to kind of kick back. I do that too. I just toss out the comments.
More than welcome.
This is just super.
I'm just giving him a hard time. That's all.
We usually talk about baseball when Eric comes in,
That's right.
or football. We just jump right over to baseball and football.
Yeah, where the third baseman threw it so quickly to first that they made him a pitcher. So,
I know. How about that?
I still remember that stuff.
I do too. I remember him saying
Eric,
that.
you've made a deep impression on all of us.
I didn't know he knew the pitcher for Boston either for a while.
Oh.
For Boston.
I can't think of his name.
Boston, not
Boston.
Boston.
Eric will tell.
Wicked cool.
Wicked awesome, as opposed to being a pisser.
Yes. You know.
So the funny thing is, my dad was stationed we were in Newport before we moved back here to Utah.
Oh, geez.
But I was already
Let me help you.
Stepped into. Oh,
Right
here he
there,
goes.
buddy. Oh, I think. Oh, maybe you're in the wrong spot.
Oh, you sent it to.
Everywhere.
You sent it to
You sent it
Twitch.
everywhere.
Oh no, it's on Twitch.
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
I did too. That's all right. I don't think anybody joined us.
Maybe I should join you from YouTube. That would be
I
interesting.
think. Yep. And Eric. Here you go, man.
Hey man.
He's watching it from my personal profile.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, because this streamer doesn't post back to
It
that.
does not. It's sad.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that's a little bit of a downer on it. It did for a
What about
while.
Restream?
It did post back for a little while, and then it stopped. So
I've heard. Oh, sorry. I keep on forgetting you're doing straight through StreamYard, because I know like Restream people were getting some comments, then weren't getting some, like,
StreamYard.
or the chat, whatever. Yeah.
So Eric, I left you the link.
Link me up, Buttercup.
So feel free to pop on over. We'd love to.
This is starting. The more we do these, the more I feel it reminds me a lot of the Google Hangouts. It's getting that. It's getting the Google Hangouts. It's getting that quality of
It does.
Googlishness.
It definitely reminds me more of it.
Googlishness.
When you get
Googlishness as opposed to foolishness.
one of the 10 or more, it reminds you more of Blab.
Yeah, wherever 10 or more are gathered, I am in the midst of them, creating havoc.
In fact, like I know here that you're not allowed to have. So if you do the restaurant thing, you can't have any more than 10 in your group.
Look, it's the hand of God. Oh, hands across America, everybody. Fist bumps.
Fist.
Elbow bumps.
Oh yeah, elbows.
I was teaching my son how to give five with his foot. You know, like
Five
There you
toe.
go.
The 5-toe tango.
The old school kid and play dance maneuver.
what's up, guys? What you want to do?
Well, let's talk baseball. It's spring.
Okay.
Spring training is over, and opening day has occurred
Yeah,
somewhere.
it was,
in South Korea and maybe Taiwan. So
some distant planet,
Yeah.
far off galaxy.
far away.
So I have a Zoom call coming up. I just
In 2
found out
minutes.
about
Oh, okay.
with my graduating high school class
Oh,
Oh, that's
Whoa!
cool.
reunion.
Wow.
I graduated 1990.
oh man.
Wow, you're old.
I know.
Conan
And
O'Brien.
that's just weird.
Come
Someone
on.
just Facebooked me the Zoom link and was like,
Yeah.
hey, we're all getting on a call. And I'm like, for what?
For what?
And they're like, I'm like, our high school reunion. And I'm like, is it really our high school again? Oh my gosh.
Again?
It is 2020. Yep. Okay.
2020.
I'm like, what do I got to do?
You got to tune in and
Man.
show off all of your bling and your beautiful
Yeah.
wife
Actually,
and family.
what he has to
and-
do is
Brag.
bring his laptop into the bathroom and forget that
Right.
he's on.
Right. We're gonna have to have in the bathroom.
I'm gonna be like, you guys, man, y'all look old.
Have we
Since I remembered you.
Since I remember you. You're
Wow.
put on a few pounds, eh, buddy, since you won the state championship.
I'm gonna be like, hey, I did not get voted most likely to succeed, and
So don't blame me now.
let's see how we did.
You're selling insurance
kidding.
in Podunk, Idaho. Good.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, just joins Zoom with no camera, so it just has your name and
Yeah, just have the
audio.
voice. Yeah, a
Oh,
still
you don't
shot.
see me?
A still shot.
No. We can see you.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
see
saying, like
you.
in Zoom, you can do that, and I just think
Yeah.
it'd be funny because it's like, what's
Oh.
the purpose
And
of
a,
just giving you a
picture
voice?
of you in front of a mansion
Yeah.
with a Lambo and something else.
Right? Oh yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's
Sounds
gonna be
great.
pretty interesting.
Now,
But
is
you
this
know,
it?
the one thing they will, I guarantee you, someone's gonna ask this. They're gonna. Well, are we live on Facebook right now?
Oh
Yep. We live.
Oh,
yeah.
screw
Do you want to clean it up?
it. Someone's gonna say,
He's
"Hey,
gonna go
Eric,
put some pants on.
Yeah, put some pants on.
Someone's gonna say, "Hey, Eric, good to see you, man. Do you still play baseball?" I guarantee you, someone's gonna say that.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
I'm almost 50. No,
Fitty.
I don't play baseball anymore.
No.
This is my son.
Are you able to watch baseball? Can you
Not at
turn
the
on the
moment.
TV? Can you turn on the TV and if there is a game on and use the remote? Do you remember
Yeah,
where all the buttons are?
Dr. B, you did like this, like he was reaching in for the old school knob. What do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all 5 kids, we were the remote control for our parents.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Go change the channel.
go over there and change the channel.
We all were. We didn't have no remote.
Well, did you
Yeah.
have the TVs where you had to sort of like find the like
Of course we
distant channels and
A
like
little
kinda-
bit. I mean, the clicking wasn't absolute. That's
Well,
the
what
problem.
what Eric's talking about is so you'd have your main knob,
Right.
and that went to like the main channels. Then you put on that one, and then you
Oh,
you
that was
almost gotta,
for
like,
that was for
fine-tune the
UHF.
UHF.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was
fine-tune
right.
the-
There was
yeah,
one
yeah.
of those. Yes.
then you had to go.
Yeah, and you had the other ones you find like you know what channel we could pick up sometimes was like a WGN in Chicago.
Wow. That's a
We'd be able to like
powerful
get
power.
that channel and watch the Cubs, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
Somebody's gonna come onto this live and be like, "Oh, it's like
It's
the
like,
old,
oh,
it's the old dude channel."
It's the old people TV channel.
Funny. I also remember like instead of VCR tapes, there was these big discs. Do you guys
Laser
remember
discs.
those?
Laser discs?
Yeah, but
Laser
like
disc, yeah.
Or you're
Yeah.
talking LP records?
yeah, they were
33 and a
no, they
third.
weren't records.
Laser
They're movies.
They were
Yeah,
laser
they were
discs.
laser
Yeah,
discs.
they were laser discs.
Yeah.
I saw Top Gun
wild.
with a laser disc once at a friend's house. That was pretty
What happened to those? Like they were only around for like 2 years.
They lasted a couple of years and gone. And they had a whole family theater built in this large house in DC with the whole laser disc setup. It's pretty funny.
I remember one of my.
Yeah, definitely. It was and like the movies like were like on albums, like music
Oh, yeah.
albums. Like Dirty Harry and had the whole logo and all that, and whatever movie was out back then. And I used to think that was so cool, like this big movie disc. You pull it out and it's like that big, and you're like, wow, you put it on there, watch a movie.
It was cool. It's better than having a large reel that you have to load onto the projector.
Yeah, this is really.
I
You
remember.
guys have the old school movies where there's no sound. You
Yes.
go around the camera.
I was watching those not long ago.
We have
Family
Super,
movies.
Super 8. We had regular 8mm, then Super 8.
Some of those.
Pretty funny.
When I was little, my dad had it was just an 8mm. It wasn't a Super 8, and it had where you could film video or you could advance it one frame at a time. So I used to do little animations on that. And then you would get,
Oh, that's great.
remember how you waited for things to get developed?
Yeah.
You get the little reel back. It was just like this big,
Mhm.
and even just regular pictures. Remember how you always wondered which ones were going to turn out? And
Oh, yeah. We got the Ektachrome and Kodachrome. We had slideshows. I always had a slideshow with a slide projector. So.
yeah,
We've been doing a lot of that again.
So I'm getting some comments about a podcast episode I did.
Which one? A JSP or what?
No, it was
New one?
I guess I need to go listen to it because what happens is I'll just record it
Mhm.
and then just put it up there.
Did you just put it up there?
And I don't really listen to it. I'm just talking.
Right.
I had a couple notes, to go through, and so I've had a few people reach out to me. A couple of them weren't really happy with what I said.
Oh, well, that's good.
Uh-oh.
You wanted a little
Yeah.
controversy.
A couple of them were thought it was really great, but it was on people pleasing.
Oh, they wanted to be pleased.
And I talked about a client that I used to have.
Uh-huh.
And I just was authentic. I just told the truth. And I was like, this client drove me insane.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of like, just letting it fly. Right? I'm just saying, like, hey, this client was a pain in the ass. Like, this client was like really hard on my whole staff and all that. And it changed me. And so people are reaching out like, well, who are you talking about? And like, am I being that way? And I was like, no, man, that's not at all the case. So it's really interesting to me to think about it from the perspective of you could be real transparent and explain things to help people, but there's always going to be a percentage that twist it and kind of take it the wrong way.
Yeah. And
so I think that's what's happening with that episode. So, well, that's kind of on my mind right now. But I think the lesson is, at least as I grow up in this industry, and what I do is just let it fly, because
let it rip.
You can't really do anything about the way people could receive what it is that you're talking about. Yeah. My intention is to help people. So, if there's a few who are, including clients, who are offended by what I had to say, then, so be it.
I agree that the reality is, what your intention is. So you're going to say it how you're going to say it, and make sure your intention is what you want it to be. And then I think you should be fine with it. You should be able to sleep good at night. And you're not going to please everybody. There's going to be some people that are going to either misinterpret it, but that's where then your intention, if you ever end up talking to them one-on-one about it, your intention shines through, versus you having to stumble like, oh, well, I was trying to meet, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
where you're covering up for it. You won't have to do that.
Well, yeah, that's exactly reality. People will hear what they want to hear, or your words bounce in their little brain cells, and out comes something it's their own psychology spewing out.
That's exactly right, man. What you just said, that's good. I need to hear that. Like, it's basically when the words leave my mouth, I can't really do too much about how someone else receives and interprets what was said.
Yeah.
And I think that, just like the topic of the show is talking about people pleasing, I think that that's part of the reason why, if I get a couple people reaching out to me, kind of, busting me a little bit, that I'm like, I don't want that to happen. But anyway, that's why I did the whole show, because that's who I am. I'm a people pleaser. So in those situations, it's like I still got to learn that you can't please everybody.
No. And you have to establish boundaries here and there, because otherwise people walk all over you.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You'll like the episode if you listen to it.
I will. I promise to listen to it.
It's definitely
my Sony Walkman.
Is it a new one?
My wife was listening to a little bit of it, and she's like,
No, I mean,
Sony
podcast. I thought you meant my Sony Walkman. Sorry.
No, I didn't hear that. That registered slowly with me.
It's very slow.
I meant your podcast.
Your brain works faster than my brain.
I know. I was born into this world naturally caffeinated, and that's the problem. So
I think I came in with NyQuil.
NyQuil. Permaquil.
I got a Vicodin brain.
Now with more NyQuil.
I like Permaquil. That's going to be my new.
I never heard of that.
I just made it up. It's a permanent state of NyQuil. You suffer from Permaquil.
Oh, okay. No more jokes from you. Just
sorry
today.
I'm going to mute myself.
He's got to mute himself. Right, yeah.
Are you offended?
No, I don't offend that easily.
I know.
Except for my 12-year-old stepson. That's a different story.
He can touch those buttons.
He knows how to push my buttons better than almost anybody else.
But even my wife was listening to a little bit of it, and she said, and then I stopped to get gas, so I turned off the car because it's just normally started playing, and so I really need to listen to this, because I got a couple people upset. And then, we're listening to a little bit of it, but then we were distracted and I was getting gas. And then she said, when we got back in, I turned it off. And she was like, no, turn it back on. I really need to hear this on the people pleasing. So then later on, she was sending an email to somebody and she's like, I'm being a people pleaser in the email. And I was like, you see, like it's definitely something that makes you think about, your day-to-day activity, especially in business, especially if you have clients and customers and, help desk tickets and support tickets and people that are looking to buy from you as well, vendors, peers, joint ventures, deals, all of that. It's important to stand on your own 2 feet, I think, and not succumb to that so much that it wrecks your business or destroys your dreams or makes it to the point where you don't even want to wake up and do your business, you know, because you put yourself in a situation of people pleasing. Like I can think of a lot of times over my career where like I was people pleasing so much. Like right now, boom, one came into my mind. But I was people pleasing so much. Like one guy I remember bringing on board to work with me, and his sole reason for coming on board was to recruit affiliates for us. That's it. Just recruit affiliates. That's your job. That's why you're coming on board and getting paid the big bucks. And he wouldn't do it. But he was still making a lot of money, all right? And then finally, I had to have that friction moment, which I didn't want to do. I refrained from it so much that the months were ticking by and he was still getting paid a lot. So finally I said, hey man, I brought you on board to recruit affiliates. That's what you need to do. And he said, that's not my thing. And I was like, well then what is your thing?
What is your thing?
Because we need you to make money.
It's not my bag, baby.
So that's a moment where I couldn't even sleep the night before because I knew I had to have that friction moment, and I didn't want to have it. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have a situation where I'm putting somebody in an uncomfortable situation, including myself, or calling someone out, or going through anything like that. So, but it had to happen. I had to come to the head. So, because if not, it was just going to keep continuing to be unfair. And so, you know, the funny thing is like that guy went on to succeed greatly. And guess what? He succeeded greatly at recruiting affiliates.
Yeah.
Which is very much his thing. But anyway, the point is that just popped in my head. There's a million other examples I could give, which, you know, we've talked about this before, Chris, with the, you know, way we grew up and the empaths and, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what that is. You know?
Well, I think we want when we're people pleasers, and I know I've been in that thing tremendously, because when you're a healthcare provider, you want to let every patient, you know, make them feel good and everything else. And I think the healthcare professions often recruit those of us who are basically people pleasers and caregivers at heart. But the dark side of it is where you have no boundaries and people take advantage of you, and you want to avoid conflict. So you try as much as you can to please people, because that friction could burn you. And I think that's what we try to avoid. But establishing boundaries is really important in business. I had somebody recently, a client, who started walking all over me, and I just laid down the law. It's like, no, you're not getting this. You're not getting that either, or this. So
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
That's a client of yours?
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Think back to when you first brought that client on board.
Yeah.
Was that client difficult to bring on board or easy to bring on board?
Easy, because it was someone I've known for a couple of decades. So it's a long time friendship. And when you start mixing friendship and business, it can get really tricky.
Yeah, that's an anomaly because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the anomaly.
Yeah. What I've noticed is, you know, if it's not a friend or family that's going to be your client, if it's someone, you know, cold off the internet, for example, that you're warming up and getting close to them to become a client of yours. Yeah. If they're super difficult to bring on board as a client, they're going to be super difficult as a client. And
I had that experience for 27 years with patients. If they wouldn't fill out the forms, it's like, paperwork? I don't need any paperwork. Don't you know me? I'm a former Washington Redskin. I was like, no, I don't know who you are, because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. So,
well, it's interesting.
This guy, by the way, this guy left in a huff. He came back the next day with all of his paperwork filled out.
Yeah,
so sometimes you can get somebody to cooperate if you lay down the law.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we were discussing earlier too. The type of customer that you bring in initially, and that process, you can. It's like, I think that's what Eric is basically saying too, is that you can kind of sense some kind of things.
Yeah, there's some bad juju. So.
And Eric,
man,
we talked a little bit.
Nailing what I said on the podcast. Like you're nailing it. like the juice that you're talking about, I talk about that on the podcast episode.
Yeah, well,
like you get
that's
like an emotional feeling when you're
you can intuitively you can feel it.
Yeah,
in fact, it's April 20. I looked it up. It's April 29th. It's called People Pleaser, available on Apple iTunes and other podcast platforms.
Beautiful. We also talked about the price you charge, Eric. We also talked about the price you charge.
Yeah, price
also determines the type of client that you bring in as well, or customer.
Yeah, if you have a high ticket price, that's a big giant fat filter, just the price itself.
I like the fat filter. Is that PHAT or FAT? Both.
However you choose.
I like PHAT.
Yeah, big fat giant
big
melting
fat filter.
Neon filter.
The
that
neon
filters
filter.
The snot out of all the lower level bottom feeders.
We will accept no snot-filled bottom feeders in our business.
Yes.
Well,
that's
it's
my
called
slogan. My new slogan.
Low pay, high expectation customers.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
but you can have high expectation and high pay.
I'm just saying the ones you don't want is the expectation.
The high expectation
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The term bottom feeder is rather rude, but it's actually quite descriptive.
That's why it was made up.
Rude. So be it.
So be it. Let's see how many more people we can offend today.
It is so.
I help winners win more.
Yeah. You got to be a wiener. You have to be a wiener. Who's going to win the pennant?
Losers become winners.
Yeah. Who's going to win the pennant in the National League East? Let's start predictions.
You know, I saw somewhere that they could actually make 3 big divisions and have the shortened season for baseball.
Oh,
interesting.
Like
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's like these bigger leagues and just these bigger divisions.
Makes sense.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be wild.
This is going to change everything.
We'll see.
We're going to see stuff
See
like
what
that.
happens.
So in the NFL, whoever wins the most games automatically has become the champion. We do that too.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I still
just got to remember though, anything they changed like that would just be I would assume for the particular season. I wouldn't.
Oh, for one season only. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
unless something stupid happens and it lingers on into 2021. So.
Yeah. What's up, JP? Hey man, are those glasses progressive glasses like mine?
They are made for the old people.
They're progressive because he lives near Massachusetts.
You're muted.
Oh my gosh.
I am?
No, John's not. I can hear him.
He's there.
Can't you hear me?
He's just naturally quiet.
Really?
I don't hear him.
Wow.
I do.
That's weird.
For me.
Well,
I can hear him.
I thought StreamYard wasn't hot.
Do you hear him?
Yeah.
We hear him. Yeah.
We both can hear him. Yeah.
I don't hear him.
That's funny.
You need to get your hearing checked.
I'm on my iPhone though. Maybe I should be on my computer instead.
Well, you could, but your iPhone's doing well. That's a good picture.
That's so weird.
Well, with the progressive glasses,
John, why don't you maybe, like you did yesterday, come back out and come back in or something? I don't know. It's weird.
He won't be able to get back in again.
No, I can come back. I'll even come back.
That was kind of funny.
Yeah,
I'm wearing my glasses as well are progressive, so I've actually got 3 tiers. So I've got like the distance, then like the more what they call like the computer, and then the bottom's reading.
Oh, there you go.
Just reading glasses.
I just had.
So it was John.
Yeah, that was kind of funny yesterday though. Remember when he left and then he couldn't get.
He left. We had duplicates. We had duplicates of us. So we had multiple images of ourselves. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I hear
okay. It was all your fault.
That's so weird.
Oh,
that's weird.
I know what it is.
What?
It's you're on a PC.
No.
I'm just saying.
They still make those?
That's not it.
Do they still make PCs?
Come on.
Pieces of. I mean, do they
Come
still?
Come on.
Well, all I'm just saying, John, is that's the only thing I can think of that would be. See, we all have the common denominator we have is all Apple right now.
It might be maybe Internet Explorer is interfering with StreamYard.
It's hard to say.
Or Netscape Navigator.
It's your Netscape.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Not that. I don't even use that.
Remember you had to buy Netscape Navigator?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It took like 2 hours to download it.
I'm streaming through command line prompt right now.
Oh.
My DOS window.
Your floppy disk.
Famous DOS.
That's too funny.
So what are those progressives?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Are they the yeah? Because I think there's only 3. I've never heard any F4, right? You have like the distance, then like what they call the computer distance kind of thing, and then the reading.
I just have 2. I've got the
Then that's bifocal.
reading bottom, but they're
Mine's 3.
They're progressive because there's no
You
line.
got 3.
because it still fades into okay.
And they fade in and out.
Yeah.
Isn't there a 4th for Netflix?
So
So you have contacts, Chris?
Yeah, I definitely have contacts. And what happened was, so I used to be fine. But John has seen these, but they're my Psycho Killer glasses. They look like Coke bottles bottoms. And so I now refer to them as my sexy Psycho Killer glasses. And so what happened was, years ago, I got an increase in my prescription for my contact lenses, and suddenly I couldn't read anymore without readers.
Oh.
But I would make a great jeweler without an eyepiece.
You would make a great something. You putting them on?
No, I'm not going to put them on. It's going to give me a headache if I put them on.
But we want to see really quick what they look like. I haven't
seen
seen
them right now. No, you're not.
You can't just.
So
you're not even here. We'll have to save that. This is the cliffhanger. This is the cliffhanger. Tune in next time to see if I put on.
It's Fun Time Friday. Go get them so we can see them real quick. Come on now.
I can't.
Imagine Coke bottles.
I know. That's why I have to see it.
In the glasses.
Things go better with Coke. Okay, hold on. Don't leave.
Oh, yes.
Do not
go anywhere. So go grab
I don't think Chris is wearing pants.
Probably not.
That's true. He didn't want to get
He didn't want to get up.
I can't believe you fell to our peer pressure.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know.
Well, I got to get it like just right on distance, or it's all blurry with these glasses. I just got a new prescription. That's why I'm like.
Yeah, you have to get used to it.
Yeah, you got to get used to them.
Like just the right distance.
Yep.
Here we go.
This is the old dude show.
Oh man,
you'll have to freeze frame that.
Hold on. You know what? When you zipped that by, it was kind of tilted a little bit like this. So it was a little bit like this, and I saw some kind of like glass that was
you did
like that. Oh my gosh!
You go like this.
How many diopters? Hey everybody! Guess how many diopters?
Yeah, you gotta show them the side view and then the regular view.
I can't put them on because they will give me a headache.
Oh, that's not bad.
Contacts plus that. So
I can actually.
Here we go. Slow pan.
Here we go. Drum roll
for it.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
For
Are you like legally blind or something?
Wow.
Like,
no, I'm not legally blind.
No,
I'm just joking.
So what happened was we went to Mexico for these glasses because they're dirt cheap, but I wanted the tiniest frame possible. They don't pay attention sometimes. And they gave me these wide frames, which of course it flares outward with a wide frame. Yeah. And it looks like one of those Japanese movies when Godzilla is coming. And you're like, oh, this is like
Godzilla.
Come on.
Come on. All right. Put them on. Put them on.
No, I can't do it. It's going to really bother me.
No, I'm talking, dude, 3 seconds.
Just for a second.
I'm going to have to close my eyes to do it.
Okay, yeah, do that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You guys still be here? I want to test out this on my computer.
We'll be here.
Like that.
Oh, that's really painful.
Oh, snap. I got to look at the replay. I was looking at Eric.
Well, you're going to have to watch the replay.
We're still going to be here. I was telling Eric we're still going to be here. Oh, man.
1:57.
Yeah, time.
Okay, yeah, timestamp.
She's got the timestamp.
Timestamp 157. I think Eric's gonna connect back with his computer. I think.
I thought he was going to his high school reunion.
All right.
Oh, that was painful. Let me tell you.
Oh,
Dr. V. Hey,
you better do it though.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna look back at that.
If anybody wants to know about live broadcasting and transparency, that was very transparent.
And you know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of that and I'm gonna post it in the Live Event Marketers group.
Do not.
As a meme thing and say like, okay.
Yeah. So if he can do it, so can you.
So can you. But you know what though? I recognized actually I could tell you really didn't like that, so I won't do that.
Oh, that's just painful. Well, I mean, and it happened. It started at a very young age, actually. Because I remember my dad. We were in the car, and we're driving along. I mean, I don't remember this episode, but I totally believe it. And back then, you didn't have seatbelts, or you didn't put your kids in seatbelts. at least. And so I would stand on the bench seat in between my parents and look out and look at stuff and la 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 la. And one time we're driving down the street close to our house, and he said I got very excited and started saying, "Doggy, doggy, doggy," and it was a rock. And I think that's when he knew there was a problem.
Oh my gosh, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
That's not
Wow.
a dog.
So I got my first pair of glasses in first grade, and it just
Wow.
went downhill from there. But over time, the eyes got slightly better, and then later everything stabilized. So I'm just making sure that nothing, no retinas start pulling away or anything like that.
Of
So
course. Yeah, that would be bad.
that is a bad thing. So,
That would be very bad.
but yeah, it's one of those embarrassing moments.
Well, I thank you for
You're welcome.
entertaining us.
Yes, I would have done. I would have done this had we been off the air with no trouble whatsoever. But my resistance was apparently futile.
It is.
Say your resistance is futile.
Yeah, we are Borg.
We are many.
Actually, I thought the Borg guy was actually a pretty cool character that they brought in.
I liked the Borg. Who was the woman who was dressed in a cat suit? She was the Borg. She became a member of the crew.
Yeah, she's in the
Oh,
movie. Seven.
was she 9 or 7? 7.
Seven.
7. Yeah.
Yeah. Just split it down the middle. She's 8.
Seven.
Average. She was average.
Oh my god.
Are you guys talking? Which new one are you talking about? Are you talking about the Picard thing?
No, this was before Picard, though.
Oh, okay.
But she's back on. She's on.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Just because I haven't watched any of that, and I was curious if that was what you're.
I don't know. I do want to watch it.
Woo.
Whoa,
I
that
think-
was something, man.
You better go get your sunscreen for that thing.
I'm trying to see
You
if I can
almost
get
looked
my
like
light
you
to
were a
work.
Phantom of the Opera,
I know.
like a ghost.
Get my light to work here.
Dude, I'm seriously, you got some kind of facial burn from that thing.
My
I'm
overhead.
getting
radiation burn.
messages. I'm getting messages from the great beyond, asking if I'm done. Almost done.
Right.
It was a long one.
Well, there we go. There we go. There we go. Ooh, that's better.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Eric.
Not
but,
bad.
yeah.
My overhead.
I think it was his high school reunion. It probably started at
maybe
probably 2 p.m.
Well, no, you guys were.
Central.
Well, he may have actually gone to that.
I think
but
so.
It did sound like he was going to get on his computer because he goes, "Are you guys going to be around?" And I thought he meant.
Well,
like
he
he's
might be
on.
getting on his computer
probably-
to come
maybe.
Yeah.
to
We
do
gotta get going
the.
anyways. It's getting dark.
Yeah.
I had to turn.
I'm gonna
on
go
the
get me some food too. So
Are you gonna? So, John, are you gonna put your little cap on and your jammies and come back?
Why?
Your nightcap. No, I thought this is like the continuous. We're gonna go 24 hours, right?
oh wow.
Yeah, we got to do that sometime.
We could.
I
We
was
have
going
to
to
do shift work though. Like
I wanted to
you
do-
sleep an hour, it's my turn to sleep.
Well, yeah, we were gonna do a streamathon with guests. It
Yeah.
was something I was looking at doing.
That's good.
Well, he came back.
He did. Where?
Yeah, right here,
He's got to pull him in. There you go.
right there.
Oh,
Speak of the devil.
I actually think the picture was better with the iPhone.
Do
Hey,
still
can you
hear
guys hear me?
Yeah.
me? Yeah,
Yep.
can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Can you hear us?
He can't hear me again.
Can you hear?
I don't think he
us?
can hear anybody
No.
because he's not reacting to anybody.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Oh.
Can you hear me
Can you
now?
hear all of us? Me too.
Can you hear some of us?
Yeah, I think everybody's talking at the same time.
Oh, I don't think he can hear me again. See how he looks like that when I say, I don't think he can hear me. See that?
Everybody, there's a lot of people talking at the same time.
You probably have more than one thing going on.
I'm gonna leave. I'll come back in.
I think he's communicating
Yeah.
with aliens.
Yeah, or does he have like multiple pulled up in the browsers and so he's getting the echo? But he's got the headset on, so I don't know if
What's
he's
going on. He's probably still listening and
because
trying
I was
to-
like, it shouldn't be that big of a delay. That's why I was like, why is he saying everybody's still talking when we're actually being quiet? I don't know.
Yeah. So
That's user error.
cockpit error, as we used to call it.
I need
Cockpit
to.
error.
I probably need to change locations.
Ooh, that's spiffy.
That's your warm light right there.
Yeah.
I like that actually.
Is that an RGB one or some kind of?
Combination of warm and blue.
It's a good look on you. You look a little purple.
Thank you. Oh. Oh.
I have my. For some reason, these live streams and things have been really difficult.
Your device is not connected. Eric,
I wound up getting this fan mechanism here.
let's see what happened. Oh, here it comes.
It's 4
There you go.
fans.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay, it's good now. Like earlier, I was delayed. Everyone was talking at the same time, and there was no way I could understand just little bits and pieces.
Were you listening to the recording in the background?
It was delayed. It was really weird. Then I heard myself talking like a little bit later.
Yeah.
So just be aware that I guess that can happen when guests log in. So I just want to try this camera. Does this camera look any different or better or worse than the other camera that was on earlier?
Well, Dr. V said, and I'd agree. I think
I thought the other one was better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By a little bit, not by a whole ton, but it did look a little bit better, I think.
Well, I have a big iMac, and you guys all look way better than on my phone. So it's like it's way easier on the desktop.
Mine's an iMac as well.
Yeah, it's way clearer, more clear. It's way better. The iPhone was just, I guess, too small.
It's too small, yeah. Look at Dr. V. He going places, man.
I had to. I was interfering with somebody resting. Yeah, having your office right next to the bedroom is not always a good idea.
Can be a problem.
Yeah.
Yes,
there's no problems.
99 problems. So.
Yeah, I think I'll do the desktop more than the phone.
Yeah, it's probably better.
It's easier.
It's easier to see things, but your camera, I actually like the camera better.
I think it did. I think it looked good as well, but as far as him being able to see us,
that's a different story. Well, does he want to see us?
Of course.
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was kind of hard with my glasses and everything to be like, I don't know. It's just this is way better. And I have like a camera that I can move around. That I'm not using the iMac camera. I'm using a camera you plug in.
A Logitech or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Logitech.
I had to start turning the lights on. It's getting dark over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cruise in a minute. My wife wants me to help her with something.
That's all right. We gotta tie things up as well, but it's nice seeing you.
Yeah, good seeing you guys.
Yeah, it's good you dropped on.
Vogelman's coming back.
Right on. I'm out of here. See you guys.
See you later.
Okay.
See you next time.
Drove him away.
I know.
You scared him away.
It's your fault.
I'm bragging.
I gotta go too.
Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get something to eat as well.
It's dark.
I just got here.
It's dark.
Well.
Although I did get to play with my light here. This works pretty good.
Yeah, it's one large experiment.
It really is. Anytime I do this, I find it's a great time to kind of experiment, play around, see what's going on.
I think I want to play around with the Facebook native broadcast studio.
That doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little ring light. Not half bad.
That's the thing with me and the lighting too. Because again, I'm looking at my setup and what I want to do, and I got to make sure I don't have it so like you don't get the light reflecting and stuff, and so it's got to be in the right spot. So.
Yeah, this is pretty decent. I can maneuver around a little bit.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah. There we go.
Is that a ring light that has the adjustable part built in, or did you?
It's got an adjustable thing built on.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
See you later, alligator.
There we go. All right.
All right, guys.
It's some of the best lighting I've seen on you yet. So
I know it's pretty good. All right, bye everybody.
All right, have a good one.